Now, in the previous video I did on Sunday, August 11th, 2024, I talked about how lies have an effect on the political landscape. And I wanted to follow up on the video I did then to what I'm talking about now. And part of lying is gaslighting. Now, this term is starting to be used more frequently in the political realm and in relationships. You're starting to see a lot of these content that's on TikTok and YouTube and whatever else. And basically, the attempt is for the other person to look foolish, or it's not what they think, what they're perceiving, right? So this particular video is going to talk about that particular term, what it is, how it's used, impact, all that stuff, right? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe, turn your notification bell. That way you know whenever I go live or whenever I drop a video. All right, so gaslighting is a term borrowed from the 1938 play and subsequent film adaptations. Gaslight. It refers to a form of psychological manipulation in which a person seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a target individual or a members of a group, making them question their own memory, perception, or sanity. This insidious form of abuse can occur in various relationships. We see it in romantic relationships and partnerships, right? For a lot of you guys out there, that's part of the alphabet crowd. Friendships, family dynamics, or even in professional settings. Gaslighting erodes a victim's sense of self, leading to feelings of confusion, anxiety, and even depression. All right. Now, at its core, gaslighting is about power and control. That's gaslighting at its core. The perpetrator seeks to gain dominance over the victim by undermining their confidence in reality. Gaslighting can be overt or subtle, and its tactics can vary depending on the situation and the individuals involved. Now, some tactics include basically making something more trivial than what it is. So basically, you're dismissing the victim's feelings or concerns, making them feel insignificant or foolish. Countering. The perpetrator contradicts the victim's version of events, insisting that the memory is faulty. So an example of this is you caught somebody cheating in the bedroom red-handed and be like, hey, wasn't me. I just saw you put your dick in her. Hey, it wasn't me. That was my twin brother you saw. It wasn't me. I was at work. That type of deal. That's the gaslighting, right? Then, another example of this is withholding. The perpetrator refuses to listen or acknowledge the victim's perspective, leaving them feeling unheard and invalidated. Diverting. The perpetrator changes the subject or redirects the conversation to avoid addressing the victim's concerns. We see this a lot. Matter of fact, I had this happen to me when I was going in on Ricky Smiley, right? While his buck dancing, his sharp shoeing, his go sell up the mountain, all in blind deference to Kamala Harris. And some troll attempted to redirect the topic about Ricky Smiley buck dancing to, but what about Project 2025? Hey, Project 2025, you got to be real careful with 2025. Instead of addressing the actual issue at hand. Blaming. The perpetrator shifts responsibility for their own actions onto the victim, making them feel guilty or at fault. So you see this a lot in relationships, right? You catch a person cheating or whatever like that, and the first thing they will say is, well, it's you. You weren't there. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. It's a gradual process that often starts subtly and escalates over time. The victim may initially dismiss the perpetrator's behavior as harmless teasing or misunderstandings. However, as it continues, the self doubt grows and they may start to question their own sanity. The effects of gaslighting can be profound and long lasting. Victims often experience a range of psychological, emotional symptoms, including confusion and self doubt. Victims constantly question their own judgment and reality, leading to a loss of confidence and self and a sense of helplessness. Anxiety and depression. The constant undermining of a victim's reality can lead to chronic anxiety and depression. Isolation. Victims may withdraw from friends and family as soon as they become increasingly reliant on the perpetrator for validation and support. Low self-esteem. Gaslighting erodes a victim's sense of self-worth, making them feel inadequate and undeserving of love and respect. Difficulty trusting others. Victims may struggle to form healthy relationships due to their fear of being manipulated or deceived again. This is when people put up the proverbial wall. In extreme cases, gaslighting can lead to more severe mental health issues such as PTSD or even suicidal ideation. Now, how do you recognize it, right? Recognizing gaslighting can be challenging, especially when it occurs gradually over time. But there's some red flags you have to watch out for. You feel confused or disoriented after interacting with a person. You constantly second guessing yourself and your own judgment. You apologize excessively, even when you have done nothing wrong. You feel like you're walking on eggshells around that person. You withdraw from friends and family, and you feel like you're losing your sense of self. If you recognize these signs in your own life, it is important to seek help from a trusted friend, family, or a therapist. Now, how do you overcome it, right? How do you overcome being gaslit, right? Because it requires breaking free from the control from the perpetrator and rebuilding your sense of self. And this can be a challenging process, but it's possible with the right support and strategies. First, you have to set boundaries, clear boundaries, and limit your contact with them in regards to the perpetrator as much as possible. These boundaries has to be clear and established that you will not tolerate certain things. Trust your instincts. Learn to trust your own judgment and perceptions, even if they contradict with the perpetrator's version of reality. Yeah, because a lot of times the perpetrator's version of reality is way out there in the atmosphere or in the ether, right? Talk to trusted family, friends, or therapists about what you're going through. Practice self-care. Focus on taking care of yourself physically and emotionally. Go out, exercise, eat healthy, get enough sleep, and do stuff you like to do. And if you like to journal, keep a journal or record of the individual who is gaslighting you and, detail the incident on a piece of paper. This can help you validate your own experiences and provide further evidence if needed. Now, gaslighting can occur in various contexts, each with its own unique dynamic and challenges. So let's explore some of the common contexts when gaslighting takes place. I've already documented or I've already explained a couple of scenarios, but let's talk about it. Romantic relationships. Gaslighting in romantic relationships can be particularly devastating due to the intimacy and emotional vulnerability involved. The perpetrator may use gaslighting to control the partner's behavior, isolate them from friends and family, and undermine their self-esteem. This can lead to a toxic and abusive relationship where the victim feels trapped and powerless. Family dynamics. Gaslighting often occurs within families, between parents and children, or between siblings. In these cases, the perpetrator may use gaslighting to maintain control over other family members, enforce their own beliefs or values, or suppress dissent. This can create a dysfunctional family environment where open communications and healthy relationships are stifled. Workplace settings. Gaslighting can manifest in professional settings, such as between colleagues or between a supervisor and a subordinate. In these cases, the perpetrator may use gaslighting to undermine a colleague's competence, sabotage their work, or create a hostile working environment. This can lead to decreased productivity, low morale, or in some extreme cases, employee turnover. Social and political context, right? Because when you're in this political realm here, you got a lot of people out there that will sit up there and will lie and mislead and redirect and whatever else to try to sway the opinion or the topic in their favor, right? So gaslighting can be used on a larger scale in social political context. Political leaders or groups may use gaslighting tactics to manipulate public opinion, discredit opponents, or justify their own actions. This can have serious consequences for democracy and social cohesion. The advent of technology has created new avenues for gaslighting. Social media, messaging apps, other digital platforms can be used to spread misinformation, harass victims, or isolate them from their support networks. Cyberbullying and online stalking are also forms of gaslighting that can have severe emotional and psychological consequences. If you don't like something or someone, just turn it off. In conclusion, gaslighting is a persuasive or pervasive and insidious form of psychological manipulation that can have devastating effects on its victims. It erodes their sense of self, undermines their reality, leaves them feeling confused, anxious, and powerless. Recognizing the signs of gaslighting and seeking help from trusted individuals or professionals is crucial for breaking free from the cycle of abuse and reclaiming your own power. By understanding the nature of gaslighting, its various tactics, and its devastating effects, we can empower ourselves and others to recognize and resist this form of manipulation. We can also work towards creating a culture of empathy and respect where gaslighting is not tolerated and victims are supported in their journey towards healing and recovery. So, all in all, I hope you get something out of this video, right? Because my job is not just to come in here and just bash on people all day long, even though it's fun. But at some point, we have to be educated. We have to take the next level if we want to get to where we want to be in life, right? And you cannot be manipulated. You cannot be easily swayed by the opinions of others. Not even me, right? Even though I, try to be a man of principle, I try to be a man of what's tried and true. I don't always get it right, but I'm man enough to admit when I don't get it right. You guys let me know what y'all think about this. These are the type of videos that YouTube won't push. These are the type of videos that won't get out to the general public, right? But if I'm bashing on somebody though, yeah, that gets all the traffic though. It's like it's being prided upon the negativity and all that. I don't always want to just come in here and just go off on somebody. I like to teach. I like to empower. I like to give. And what you do with that is up to you, right? Anyway, if you're not subscribed to this channel, Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!